A pleasant good morning to everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Coles Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network. Yours truly, right here, Carlos Brown. Here's the guest menu for August the 19th. Charles Edmond, of course, guest co-host, will join me uh, in hour number one. Roman Banks, Director of Athletics at Southern University, scheduled to stop by and talk with us. Also, Kevin Johnson, Coach Kevin Johnson, Southern University men's basketball coach, stops by. And then in hour number two guests for you. Coach Van Pettaway, of course, he'll sit in on the interview, the discussion with Coach Kevin Johnson. And then last but not least, Kevin Batiste of WAFB TV, Channel 9. He's helped produce, and will be hosting Fighting for First, the Southern University football special, be on WAFB TV Channel 9, local in Baton Rouge and across all of Channel 9 platforms. So that's the guest menu. Here's simply what's trending. As we speak, Southern University is completing a major fall camp football scrimmage. We'll get an update throughout the show. And, of course, Kevin Batiste will give us an update. He'll be live from Southern University campus. SWAC volleyball, predicted order finish is out. We'll talk about that. Congratulations to FAMU. Off the bat, they're picked to win it all. Southern University, women's soccer, they open up their season with a 6-0 loss to the University of Memphis. The first game, one game doesn't make the season, but the Southern soccer team kicked off their season against a University of Memphis. Also, what's trending? Congratulations to Southern University men's basketball team. Their GPA for the summer was 3.64 for the summer session. So congratulations to Coach Johnson and all of those players in the program. Coach Johnson comes up in hour number two. We'll bring in now co-host Charles Edmond of the Alcorn State Radio Network and the Grambling State alum. I just have to say that, Charles, because I always talk about, of the Alcorn State Radio Network, but a Grambling State alum. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Carlos Brown. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
It's football season. This time next Saturday, the SWAC MEAC Challenge, Jackson State and South Carolina State. I got on the SWAC shirt, so I got a pull for the SWAC participant, JSU. But I think, just my humble opinion, South Carolina State and Coach Buddy Pugh, always a tough opponent. They'll represent themselves well. And, Charles, the last time they played, South Carolina State defeated Jackson State in the Celebration Bowl. So we got to pull for Jackson State. Jackson State got to get a win next Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, when these type of things happen, I pull for Alcorn. I pull for Grambling. That's my alma mater. And when the SWAC steps out of SWAC, whether it's the SWAC MEAC, SWAC, whatever, FBS, FCS, I'm pulling for the SWAC. So yeah, I'm pulling for Jackson State. We gotta get it done. Alabama State got it done last year. Can it be 2 in a row, Carlos? As far as
I hope so.
The SWAC getting it done. Jackson State looks different. There's no question about it. And so this is TC Taylor's first test, and I'm sure a lot of eyes will be on that one to see if he gets off to a good start.
Let me ask you this, Charles. I still believe Jackson State, they're different, but they're still going to be a very good football program, just to me. I know on paper they brought in a lot of players, but the cupboard is not bare. In my humble opinion, Charles, I think they're going to just be an outstanding football team.
No, the cupboard's not bare, but you got some different ingredients. Instead of the top shelf can of peas, you might have a different kind of peas. I mean, it's different. There's no. I mean, peas are peas, yes, but some like Del Monte, some like other kinds. So it's yes, The cupboard's a little bit different, but we'll see if the chef can make the ingredients work to make it taste right. And I think that's what it's all about. I mean, people are putting pressure on TC Taylor. You always talk about there's pressure in that position. Yes,
Mhm.
Coach Sanders introduced Coach Taylor in front of the team. Yes, but the team he looked at when he was introduced is a totally different team than what he's putting on the field. So I'm patient because we've been through a bunch of coaches, and I understand that these things take a little time. Continuity, a new quarterback, albeit I've heard that there's some quality quarterbacks in that room, but
Mhm.
still, it's different. Different verbiage, different way of doing business. The media stuff is different. It's all different, but still, you got to give it a little time and a little patience. And when you open up against an HBCU opponent, it seems like all bets are off and the expectations are a lot higher because for us, we think that the rosters are about equal. And so we'll see. I just always believe when you're a leader, a CEO, a CFO, things are a little different. So I'm a little patient. I know Jacksonians feel different. We've been there, 6 straight division titles. We've been on top of the mountain, 2 straight for Jackson State. They're on top of the mountain right now, and they want to stay that way. And there's a little bit of difference because you got a new leader. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they do. But you got the old grizzled veteran and Coach Pugh. He's been there, done that, bought the T-shirt 20 times. So he's not going to be phased by any of this stuff. But Jackson's got to come ready to play.
So with that being said, I don't know. It just sounds like to me I'm a little more. I don't want to say optimistic, but it seems like I have a little bit more faith. I think the team is talented, and I understand what you're saying. Those different uh, pieces of information. New uh, coaching staff, a new CEO, but I don't know. I just think it's not going to be a big drop off to me with Jackson State. They're very talented. Um, the cover's not bad, as I stated. I think they're going to just be fine. Will they go undefeated? I don't think so. But I just think this team is still a team to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
Just my opinion. Life goes on after Coach Sanders, and life was good for Jackson State before him.
Yeah. I just think that when you have a new leader like this and you're coming off the run that they've had, the expectations are high, 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 and in fandom the expectations are high, high, high. But I'm a little bit more of a realist. I understand that it takes a little time for all this to come together. And so when you're starting out, I mean, if Jackson State were playing down to start up, I think wouldn't be that big of a conversation. But because you just played the team that you beat, and then you're looking at them again, and the expectation is just ramped up because of that. And I get it, but I also know it takes a little time. I
Hmm.
get, I completely understand the deal. So it is what it is, and in Jackson State, the expectations are higher. But again, you got a new leader. You got to be a little patient. That's something we don't have. Me
Hmm.
being in this thing and being around a bunch of different coaches, players, ADs, I'm patient. But there's some people that are not, and I get it. So we
Hmm.
just have to see. I mean, if Jackson wins that game, all is good in the capital city. But if Jackson doesn't win next week, then is all hell going to break loose? No,
Mm-mm.
no.
It's just one game.
It's
Win the
just
week.
one game. But you
Hmm.
can't. But in fandom, you can't tell fans that because the expectation you're playing another HBCU, you got all the talent, but is it going to come together next week? Some of it will, some of it won't, and so you got 10 more games left to figure it out. I'm pulling for Jackson. Don't get me wrong, but I do think with a new leader in TC Taylor, he's doing things differently than what Coach Sanders did. Just gotta give it a little time. Let's look at the first month to see what happens. You got South Carolina State, you got FAMU, you got Southern. That's gonna tell a lot in the first few weeks of the season.
Well, we have it from Charles Edmond there. He's Charles, if I didn't think I almost think you're a conservative. You take that conservative approach. I think Jackson State and boy, they already started in the chat room. I think Jackson State will be just fine. Look, it's pressure on every coach. Where you work, there's pressure. He may not say it. It's pressure in Baton Rouge. It's the way of the world right now.
Yeah.
My simple formula is win the week. You can't look too far ahead. You win the week. Can you overcome adversity? I always say this all the time. I know. And the teams that can overcome a little adversity, injuries, all of that. The race is not won by the swiftest, but the what? The one who endures.
Yeah.
I think Jackson State will be fine. And speaking of fine, Blue and Gold Century Club is a supporter of the Carlos Brown Show. They are also proud supporters of Jaguar Athletics. The Blue and Gold Club will have first-class bus trips to all of their Southern University away football games. You travel with the Blue and Gold Century Club to Montgomery, Alabama, which is 2 weeks away. 2 weeks away. And you could travel for only $165, which includes a ticket, refreshments, and parents of Southern University football players receives a special discount. That's a great deal. You can't beat it. For more information, call Craig Pierre at 225-324-7234. In the chat room, someone just said, it flew by quickly, JSU will fight every game. And, fans, I'm a fan also. We're not patient. We're in the mode now where it is win and win now. I think Janet Jackson said, what have you done for me lately? With that being said, let me transition. SWAC volleyball. Predicted order of finish. Congratulations. On paper, FAMU is predicted to win it all. Alabama State, number 2. JSU, number 3. Bethune-Cookman, number 4. Number 5, Grambling State. Texas Southern, number 6. Number 7, Alabama A&M. Number 8, Prairie View A&M. Number 9, Southern University. 10, University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. 11, Alcorn State. And predicted to bring up the rear, Mississippi Valley State. Player of the Year, Brooklyn Watts of FAMU. FAMU now in the conference, year 2, 3?
3.
They love to win as well. Expectations as high as that. Is that the slogan for today's show? Expectations are high across the board.
Yeah.
But congratulations on paper. FAMU gets it done, at least in the predicted order of finish.
Yeah, for us, we've got a new volleyball coach that started within the last 30 days or so. So it's, again, coming in when she did with volleyball season starting, with volleyball season, rapidly there. I think it's just one of those, continuity things. When coaches get hired late, you're always behind the 8 ball. And sometimes it happens to where teams win with a coach being hired late. Right here at Alcorn, you go back to Jay Hobson. He was hired on Memorial Day out in front of the president's house. And the season started in 3 months. And the Braves were right there in contention for the East in year 1. And you see what has happened since that time. So you do have lightning in a bottle. It does happen sometimes. But most of the time, coaches have to get their feet under them. And it takes a little time to work those things through. So there's a new coach, basketball coach at FAMU, new women's coach that was just hired there. And so what are the expectations there? Just coming in. I've seen pictures and videos of what she's doing in our office and all that. So she's hitting the ground sprinting. And it's just one of those things you just hope you can get the most you can get out of this first year. And then you kind of hit the ground really running from that point.
The late great Rochelle said, all coaches eventually are hired to be fired.
Yeah.
And it just seems like the pressure has been retched up a bit. It's been put up. And so fans, Shako, good morning, everyone. Rattler Mania.
Oh, Rattler Mania. Where did that come from?
But you know what? I love that. We have passionate fans in across the HBCU spectrum.
Yeah,
you really do, and everybody's proud of their team. Yeah. I know I'm fighting and boxing for Go Jag, Southern University. So we love it. Roman Banks is coming up, the director of athletics, and whenever you get a sitting director of athletics on the show, I get questions, text messages all across, and I got to make sure I get my points I want to cover. We probably could do a 3-hour show with Coach Banks. And Coach Banks, what I like about him, he's transparent. Former men's basketball coach, so he's tough by nature. So I'm gonna just kind of get an update on SU athletics. Melanie, before we go to our first timeout, Southern University Fan Fest is scheduled today, and we got a graphic for that one. We'll give Melanie a little time to put it up. There she goes. She's magic. She's magic. Save the date. Fan Fest, August the 19th, 2023. And also, Charles, my high school in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, they're back in the school system. They're having their alumni picnic and festivities. Coles Brown, known as Carlos Brown back then, Capital High graduate, 1982. That's right. I'm like fine wine. I get better with age. At least I think so. Thank you, Melanie, for that. With that being said, let's just take a quick time out. And Coach Banks is backstage waiting to come on. We'll visit with Roman Banks next. You're watching the Coles Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network. We shall return.
Supermarket sushi, really?
No. Wait, Troy, you work here?
I'm never not working. Like Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology, up to 100% dandruff protection, even between washes.
Never not working, huh?
Oh, Troy, you're such a good teacher.
Yeah, I know. Never not working. Never not working. Never, ever not working.
Are you serious?
Never not working. Dandruff protection that's never not working. Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
Hello, everyone. This is Roy Evans with the Black College Sports Network. We are live on the beautiful campus of Alabama State University for BuzzFest 2023 as we get ready to kick off the athletic and academic season for the Hornets. So before we get into what's going to happen today, I want to introduce you guys to a young lady who you're going to be seeing a lot of right here with the Black College Sports Network. This is part of our partnership with K-12 Stride Learning. I'm going to let her introduce herself and where she's from.
Okay. So my name is Kaylin Thomas, and I am from Houston, Texas, but I reside in Fitzpatrick, Alabama. And I'm a senior at Alabama Destinations Career Academy, and I am in the health sciences pathway for nursing and medical field. And I also achieved my first internship with the Black College Sports Network in digital media.
There it is. We're going to be training, like we said, our goal is to help train the next generation of folks telling our stories and getting it going. So, Kaylin, really quick, before we get you out of here and I get on to this other stuff that we're going to be doing, tell the folks some of the things that you're really excited about doing with your internship.
I'm really excited about creating content of the HBCU colleges and their football teams, and as well as covering the bands of those colleges, since I've had experience in high school playing in the band.
Oh, you was in the marching band?
Yeah.
Did you do all that?
Yeah, I was on the percussion team, and I played the snare drum.
Oh, drum line on the building. All right, there it is. Well, Kaylin, thank you. We'll be seeing more from you here a little bit later today. Going to get some interviews with some folks and also talk to a couple of the people around and just see what's going on and some of the B-roll that you picked up, okay?
Okay.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, stay tuned. We're going to have it going on. Make sure you tune in. Carlos Brown will be live from 11 to 1 o'clock. Immediately following the Carlos Brown Show, we will go live from Hornet Stadium right here in Montgomery, Alabama, to have some fun. As you see, my man got his new shirts on. 3-4 to Gump. getting it in since 1887, doing anything. I think that's how they say it, right? The Gump.
Yeah,
but we
the Gump.
gonna let it go like that. So stay tuned again. Make sure you tune in. Tell all your friends. Let all your Hornet friends know to tune in. Get ready to check us out and be there. We will again be live from 1 p.m. Central Standard Time all the way up till at least 3. Doing it live from here, right here at Hornet Stadium, right after the Carlos Brown Show. So join us. We'll see you later. Deuces.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Carlos Brown Show. Charles, I love that. I love that. And the Black College Sports Network, hey, great news for the network. They have some announcements this past week, some more upcoming. I'm just proud to be a part of this great network. Now, with that being said, we will introduce Roman Banks, who is a busy person. You know, and I always say it's tough being a director of athletics. Got to have thick skin. Have to do all that. Oh, okay, that's all right. We'll get him back. He was backstage, and he disappeared. We'll get him back in, I'm sure. But Charles, you got to love that. Roy Evans, Black College Sports Network in Montgomery. And, hey, Southern will be there in 2 weeks for a huge football game.
Yeah, I mean, the Black College Sports Network, and I do some stuff with the Black College Sports Network as well. I mean, they are really on the come up. Just they're everywhere, and just when you think they're not there in these certain places, they've been at these Greek Fest and in Atlanta at the park. So a lot of stuff with HBCUs. So job well done. And as he said, we're not going anywhere. I mean, that they're partnering with other conferences, and I've helped them in terms of information, trying to get rights for others, other conferences and other schools, and they're just trying to carry their games. And it's a tedious process, but it's so fulfilling when you can get it done. And that's what Roy's doing over there at Alabama State right now. I mean, that program is on the up and up. I mean, you feel good about their program, and they won the MEAC SWAC last year, won some big games of football, basketball. I mean, they're doing a lot of good stuff. So, good job, Dr. Jason Cable and the Alabama State administration. And they're looking really good right now. Should be a good turnout there.
Yeah. Again, hats off to Roy and everyone affiliated with the Black College Sports Network. Melanie, let me know when Coach Banks is backstage again. We'll get him right on. Coming up, of course, Coach Kevin Johnson, men's basketball coach at Southern University. Also, Coach Van Pettaway. And by the way, we'll let you know this week doing our social media buzz. We're scheduled to have the AD from Alabama A&M will join us. And I'm also going to reach out to Dr. Cable again to get him on, because I understand football season and a lot of things are going on. So you try to grab them when you can. But those are some of the guests that we plan on having here on the Carlos Brown Show. Also, Maurice Hurst, he's basically confirmed he'll be with us in 2 weeks as Southern University starts the football season against Alabama State. We'll talk a little Southern University football. Of course, everybody's going through major scrimmages. They've had one. A lot of the institutions are having, all the football programs, they're having some today. Southern University will have an update. Southern University for quarterback play. You get that question a lot. Good morning, Chuck. Checking in from Monroe, Louisiana. Good morning, everyone. Appreciate you tuning in. Harold Blood has continuously done well. He's had a very good camp. He's still getting pressure from Noah Bolton and Dylan Mahotro. But as we speak now, Harold Blood is still number one. Also, this past week, a lot of information given out about the receiving core. And when you're breaking in a quarterback for the first time that he's going to take the reins. Then the wide receiver core. Jalen Howard, from all details that I've gotten, transferred in from Prairie View. This is a speedster. Now, he was at Prairie View last year. He's come on and made an impact. Then you also got Morris, a redshirt freshman, locally from Baton Rouge, Southern Lab. Also, George Qualls Jr., last 2 years. He was at Tennessee Martin. He has made an impact in the receiving corps. And then you still have Aldrich Petrie back, and you have Cassius Allen. So the big question is this, simply. You've got the pieces there in the wide receiver room, and you deliver the football to them. And that's where Harold Blood and the rest of the quarterback. I am confident, just my humble opinion, I'm confident in the quarterback room. It is much better than last year. This football team across the board, they're better in the individual rooms. But now it'll be the time to, hey, on paper, everything looks good. You practice against everyone in camp in 2 weeks. You're going to go get somebody in a different jersey. How will the execution be? First game, you have jitters. Most improvement from game 1 to game 2. But it will be very interesting to see how this football team performs. In the chat room, if you want to do this, what do you think Southern's football record is going to be for the 2023 football season? If you're a Jackson State alum, put your record in the chat room. FAMU, everyone. I just kind of want to see how the feeling you're getting as far as this football team, your football teams will go. Roman is back. Okay, let's get right to him. Coach Banks, there he is in a beautiful shirt. I love that, Charles. Don't hate. I'm SU 100.
Looks like he's in the press box at the stadium.
No question, guys. Y'all must be special guys because my time kind of got off from watching the scrimmage. So
okay,
I'm trying to do 2 things at one time.
Hey, we appreciate the time, and as I stated, it's not an easy job, but those who are director of athletics, they love it, and they realize it's always a tough situation, but one of pleasure as well. You agree with that, Coach Banks?
Yeah, I do. I think when you start looking at it from the athletic director standpoint, I think it begins to bring out that competitive edge in you, right? I mean, you're trying to make sure that you're being the best GM for each sport. And every time you step out there, there's expectation. And so I want to make sure that I'm doing what I can to ensure that we put the best possible student athlete and team out there on the field to represent Southern University to the best of our abilities. So that becomes a challenge. That becomes a challenge within, the fire that burns within you itself.
Yeah, because, I still most of the time refer to you as Coach Banks, and I talked a little bit about that, the competitive nature, on courtside, Southern University for many years. So with that being said, even in coaching, you take your victories and you also talk about near victories. So I'm going to start off with this. Online with ticket sales and everything. I remember a few times you came on, you were working to get it done. Now it has happened. Talk about that. Tickets online now, you can get it done. You can get it done.
Yeah, so obviously, I've been talking about this for some time, and finally, it's really happening, right? And I know everybody probably shocked about that, and actually, we forced it here later than we wanted to, but we knew it was right here, so we forced it later, and kind of got our season tickets going a little later because, as you know, once you have it in your hand, you got to take advantage of it and not delay it because something else may pop up, and so. We're excited about our mobile ticketing that's changed. All our fans across the country can sit at home, their desk, and their car, use this phone that I'm using right now to speak with you all to access tickets. And that's basically in this time reaching people right where they are. And so obviously we can do that now. We're still adding components to it, as you move forward. But our ticket platform kind of works just like the one in the Superdome. It has the same capabilities, and so we are very excited about that. The thing is that we do have, and fortunately, a lot of people have been having season book tickets for a long time, and I call them our season ticket holders. And actually, we have more ticket holders 60 and older than we do under. So, and we know that a lot of, it may surprise some, but it may not surprise you. A lot of them don't use emails and cell phones and stuff like that. And so we understand that process. And so we are still have the capabilities to work out our box office. So we're not gonna alienate anyone because I know that we have different demographics that we're trying to reach, and so they can come here if they have trouble accessing the tool to get to their tickets. We will be in business as normal.
Yeah, and Coach Banks has a good point. It's an adjustment period. I'm right at the 60 threshold, but because I work in the school system, you keep up with the technology, and it can be
Correct.
challenging
Correct.
for the older population. But don't give up. Don't give up, because a lot of those older.
Well, you know what I found to be true. When we ask people to come in, we try to put things on social media. We got directions on our website. But what I learned to be true is that when they come to our box office and we say, hey, let us help you do this, let us help you work through it. I had a couple people say, baby, it ain't as hard as I thought. I like this. and so at the end of the day, you end up, people end up saying, okay, it's pretty easy. And then there are some that have younger siblings, grandkids or whoever, and they say, oh yeah, I just let them handle this. It's much easier. So you don't have to come and stand in long lines to do what you need to do. And we're willing to work with you all type of ways. We're committed to that.
Yeah, it's an adjustment period, and hang in there. Now, there's another project that I know a lot of conversation was had about, and sometimes we realize that things, you want it to happen right then, and it doesn't. But what's the latest on the football locker room project? I understand there's needs across the board, but where are you right now with that? Maybe a later date?
Yeah, well, we're gonna really sit down and figure out our best direction with this locker room. And obviously, I have learned in trying to facilitate this new facility, this new locker room, that we have a lot of foundation issues. So I want to move your mind from saying bringing in new lockers. That's not all it's going to take. We have some stuff that we have to fix. Flooring, probably sinking, AV units. There's a lot of things that need to be fixed. So when we do move into the space of new lockers, that we won't have the problem that has caused that'll continue to cause us problems now. And so with learning that, what happens? Costs go up, right?
Yeah.
And so this project is going to cost us a lot more than we anticipated. And I'm committed to that. And here's the thing, when you start looking at lockers, they aren't cheap, just lockers by themselves. And I'm just, I always said, I know back in the day, the church used to have a fish fry dinner and raise money and chicken plates, but we talking about real dollars here. And it's going to be a commitment because we do not have state dollars for any projects.
Right.
And so every time we do a project, that's money raised. And that's people giving in business given to us. And so I have personally have a couple of companies that just may put their name on the whole project. But obviously we have to do a lot of things, and a lot of things come with that. So, I've been able to move a lot of projects here in my short stay. And that's one that's on the chart. I know that I think that it's needed, not just a want or a luxury, it's needed. And so there's a locker room needed for volleyball that don't have anything too. So I don't want to be dogmatic just about football. And so when you start talking about Title IX and stuff like that, that causes you to probably delay projects, because no matter if
he was getting to the good part there. We'll get him back. Oh, there we go. That's important though, because that's one of the points I wanted to cover. Title IX programs, because what you do for a men's sports program, you have to also afford the same availability to a women's program. So I mean, and I know the needs are great across the board. I think we have Coach Banks back. Edmond says we need to grow our 30 to 60-year-old season book holders before I cross that 60 mark. We need 5K season book holders to build up from. Well, Edwin, it'll be a few years before you get to the 60 club. I'll get there before you. but you're absolutely right. Coach Banks, are you back? Okay, we'll work on that. I see the video piece, the audio.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got. Yes, sir. Can you hear us?
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right. Yes, I'm going out. I'm in the press box. So I'm going in and out. But as I was saying, I couldn't hear you. But obviously, that project is one that we're going to move. Coach Dooley and I are going to elaborate on practices to that project. And the top on agenda and ways to raise money so we can get the project done. And we won't start a project. We have all the monies that we need to make this successful.
Now, I know you can't give exact figures, but from a percentage wise, the projected cost of the locker room project, would you say it's grown from 40, 50% or more? The new additional costs? Were you able to hear me, Coach Banks? Okay, let's do this. Let's just take a timeout, and we'll come back, Melanie, and we'll see if Coach Banks is in a better situation. We're going to take a timeout. You're watching the Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network.
If you think all pads are exactly the same, think again. This is Always Ultra Thins reinvented with the Always Triple Protection System. This pad wicks gushes 90% faster, absorbs even more so you can feel dry, and locks odors in. Rethink your pad for up to 100% leak-free and odor-free comfort with the totally reinvented Always Ultra Thins. This is always like never before.
The Cuvée Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cuvée.
Looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics? There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
T. Madden and Associates is a sophisticated and experienced law firm located in your neighborhood. We're turning injury to cash.
T. Madden and Associates obtained almost $2 million for my injury. They turned my injury to cash.
Now, we can't guarantee how much your injury is worth, but we've recovered millions for our clients.
Call T. Madden and Associates at 833-PAID-123. That's 833-PAID-123.
Stride K-12 powered schools are ready to put over 20 years of being a leader in online education to work for you. Dive into curriculum design for the online classroom. Team up with state-certified teachers trained in virtual instruction. Take control of your child's education journey. Discover the power of personalized learning with a leader experienced in preparing kids for a future they can be excited about. Take charge. Stride K-12. Enroll now for the fall.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Carlos Brown Show, right here on the Black College Sports Network. Visit back with Director of Athletics at Southern University, Coach Banks. Coach Banks, continue where you left off. You were talking about the projects, and just kind of let me know if you can hear me. I think Coach Banks is having technical difficulties. We'll see if we can get him back in. But Charles, he was talking about the locker room project, and my last question to him was the cost, the estimated cost of how much the original project was going to cost, and he talked about that it was going to it would end up much higher than what the original cost or projection was.
I thought I saw a figure on the locker room project of almost $1 million for all the lockers. Like the lockers are like $4,700 a piece.
It's definitely not that, Charles, because you're probably right. But he was talking about some issues like foundational.
Right. Well,
I
guess I was talking. I think what you were saying is that the total cost of the project. So I was breaking it down, just the locker room project, and then you add all the other stuff that has to be done. We know when you're dealing with these things, it's not a $5,000 amount. I mean, you're talking about probably, if I'm going to guess, Carlos, just someone that works at a university that understands how these things go. You're talking about probably $250,000, and that may be a low ball figure.
I think it'll be more than that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm lowballing it, and I'm trying to be gracious in this, but I would say, well, we got Coach Banks back, but probably if I were to guess, maybe another $500,000 in addition to the locker room, the lockers. I mean, because you got to figure out what's going on. You got to add all these other things, and none of that stuff is cheap.
Yeah. Well, let's see who would know the added cost, at least from a percentage wise. Coach Banks, we got you back, and you were talking about the added cost of the locker room projections. And I was asking you, from the original projections, 40, 50% more, 60? We'll see if he'll be able to answer us. We have to repeat it. Coach Banks, can you hear me?
I'm back. I can hear you now.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I don't know what's going on, but
It must be all of the people that's at the scrimmage.
I would like to say yes to that, but I don't think that's the case.
Well, we'll get through it. We'll get through it.
Yeah.
Projection costs. How much from the original projection? For as I know, you probably can't give us the numbers, but 50% more with the new issues that you found from a foundational standpoint. 50, 60% more.
No, it's probably about 60% more.
Okay.
Yeah, well, because you're talking about just structure problems that probably should have been addressed a long time ago.
Yeah.
And so obviously we're to the point where, and another thing, when you build facilities and when you add to your facilities, you have to factor in the cost that it costs to keep these facilities running, the maintenance costs.
Always high.
And you have to factor those. And I think a lot of times is that we do a project, but we don't consider sustaining the project or sustaining the building, or what it costs for that.
So yeah, and I understand that. It's same thing if you buying a house. You
Correct.
have the projection cost, and then things don't go always 100% the way you want them. Added cost, supply situations, materials cost much more now. I understand. Coach, you also mentioned about what you do for, say, men's sports. You got to have the availability to do some things from a Title IX perspective, women's sports. And that's always a balance that a director of athletics and the university has to try to keep that balance.
Yeah, no question. And a lot of times, so what you're basically saying is correct. We can't necessarily just do what we want to do in the order that we want to do it in. There are some factors that you have to consider, and you have to factor in giving female opportunities. You have to factor in Title IX issues. And so as much as we'd like to move different projects ahead, there are just some businesses that we need to ensure for our female sports or our sports, in which need much improving. And see, that's been our campaign, is to raise those dollars for those sports as well.
Well, it's always tough. I understand. You have some added sports since the last time we talked. Golf and tennis. Talk about those sports coming online now.
Yeah, so we're very excited about that, and obviously when you start talking about those sports as well, we had to make sure that we was in a position from a while back, our corrective actions that we had to suggest to the NCAA that we had to give some more opportunities to our female sports. And so we were operating for a while with not giving our female sports all their scholarships. And so we have done that now. So all our female sports and Olympic sports have all the opportunities to get student athletes. And so we were able to add a little bit more because of the programs that we brought in, meaning women's golf, because those are more often than the men's golf. And so it's a balancing act. But more than that, we're excited to reintroduce those sports because those sports have always had a presence on this campus. We have golf alums that's welcome to bring this sports back, and that's sewing into this program, and that's what we need to make sure that that people are giving back, or the alums of their sports are giving back, because it helps us ensure that the student athlete is going to have a quality chance and a quality outcome when they enter our golf programs. And so we're excited about that because that seemed to be a program that can almost, contribute a lot of things and helping themselves the way that we've been able to raise money for that program. And we bringing back tennis here that once again was really good at Southern. And so those sports are in its own can stand alone right now when we start talking about raising money and helping the outcome for those sports. I'm very happy about that. The coaches are doing a good job, and that just means that the fans and those alums that played that sport are excited about bringing it back, so they're lending a helping hand, which is good.
Charles?
Yeah, I have a football question. I commend you for your football schedule, especially at the start. You're playing Alabama State and Jackson State, 2 games against SWAC opponents that don't count in the standings. And this has been talked about, for a long time, playing these matchups, especially when these teams rotate off the schedule. Previous commissioner kind of talked against it. Commissioner McClellan's definitely for it. And I commend you and Dr. Cable and obviously Ashley Robinson for getting these games scheduled, even though they don't count in the standings, because I do think that the whole SWAC mentality of just playing these rival games, playing SWAC games are important despite what's on paper, what's not on paper. So I commend you for that. How easy or how difficult was it to set that up, to play Alabama State? Of course, the Jackson State game, we all know it was supposed to be in Birmingham, but we all know that didn't happen. It's going to be there on your campus. But how easy or how difficult was it to put those kind of games together for you?
It's hard for me, and I guess, to fathom, a game like Jackson State, Southern not being able to play them. And when that rotation came up, we immediately started to try to put that game together to make sure we played. Now, it wasn't easy to get it to this point, but we were able to come together. You're exactly right. It started off being at a neutral site, but I also think the games are good for home fields, and so we were able to work through some things and change some things around. Well, finally we came to agreement and it worked out. And Ashley Robinson over there at Jackson's, he's looking for that competitive edge as well. And so when you're off the schedule, like, no, you need to come to me. No, you come to me, because you really it didn't matter who came to who last when you're off each other's schedule. And so we worked it out. I just think at the end of the day, we haven't played Alabama State in such a while, or we wouldn't play them if we didn't engage in scheduling each other off, in a non-conference time. And so I just think that our fans like these matchups. I think these matchups are very good to showcase who we are. And a lot of times when you start, factoring up what draws, then the fans like to see. A lot of them like to see our interconference games. And so I'd much rather play Jackson State at home, and I'm just throwing it out there, no bias or nothing like that, than to play a Northwestern State at home. It's going to be better outcome for us. Our fans going to enjoy it, and I think and it's well viewed around the country. I think it helps showcase who we are and what we're all about.
Is it a 2-year deal? I mean, so you're going to play Bama State 2 years and Jackson for 2 years. That you'll go to them next year, and Bama State will come to you next year. Is that how it works?
So the scheduling is kind of funny, and you have to find the right games, because we do have some non-conference games that's scheduled, and then they kind of move it around a little bit. So I think we go to Jackson next year, and Alabama State, it may be a year gap, and then they come back to us.
Okay.
Right, because that's interesting, because McNeese and, I look at those games, they're a critical piece to me, because it's in-state and recruiting. Maybe not as much as from the financial perspective. And then Nicholls State is on the schedule, and I think it's going to be a gap in between that. They come, if I'm not mistaken, Coach, next year, and then you'll return that game, a few years later. Talk about those kind of those games,
Well,
FCS non-conference.
I think you're right, and as you see kind of what we're doing, and also those games, those rivalry games, the Nichols and the McNeese, I think they're very important. The reason why you recruit against those schools, right? And I always say that we consider ourselves to be one of the best programs around, then we have to show ourselves to be that. And so I think at the end, it's a lot at stake when you play those schools. And we've been talking about, a big thing of mine is to be able to win games at your level. And so I like to challenge ourselves, and our coaches like to challenge themselves that we can go in any place and play with anyone at our level. And so I think at the end of the day, those games are important because you have to walk into kids' homes, you have to talk to parents, and you have to prove that you belong there. And so I think that those games will continue to be a major part of our scheduling process because you do have the inner area rivalry, the state rivalry games that people look forward to. McNeese, if you go back to McNeese games historically, they always have a very good program, and so we think we have very good programs. So let's see who had the best program, right? I think at the end of the day, and obviously, I think the last few years we're not happy about our record against those type of opponents, but I'm very excited about approaching from this time forward because now. I have some reasons and I had some concerns why not, but now I have more reasons to say why yes. And I guess what you're saying is that for the first time since I've been athletic director, we've been able, and I said a little bit about scholarships, but all our sports have scholarships. They full allotment of scholarships. I don't really think it's fair for you to have a full number and I'm playing with only 60%. You know how that is with injuries and death and all that. So since I have taken over this job and gone through those tough times of probation, we finally coming into a year where everybody have all their practice time. We were restricted certain times. And so I feel very good and I'm very excited where this athletic department is today because now we've been climbing the hill. And we've been able to be okay climbing the hill. But I'm looking forward to now that we have climbed the hill. Now we're on level playing ground as I look at it. And my expectation is for that the fans will see.
Oh boy, he was getting right to the
he was deep in it.
right to the good part. Look, that was that word, expectations. We've talked about that across the board. It's a lot of pressure now with those expectations. We got your back, Coach Banks. Yeah, your audio. We can't hear you. Nope. Let's see. We're working it. Let's see. I'll tell you what we do. What we'll do, Charles, I think we got to get him back. We got to get him back when he's at a different site. Melody, if he clicks back on, we'll just end it there. But we'll get it back. I'll reach out to him to see if we can get him back because I still got a couple more points to cover. And then we got our other guests standing by, Coach Pettaway and Coach Johnson.
I was gonna be messy, Carlos. I was smiling.
Oh, I know you were.
You know what my next question was gonna be? I don't know if I could have fit it in, but he talked about McNeese, and of course we beat McNeese last year. They're coming to us this year. As another school 30 miles to the east up on I-12 that just from a fan standpoint I would love to see. That's an FCS school, but he's talked about it before in terms of Southern taking over Strawberry Stadium. I'm talking about Southeast Louisiana.
Yeah, their stadium's not that big, but guess what? I'm going to be messy. Why not Alcorn? Sign them up. That's a short trip, a turnaround. Get it done, Charles.
I can explain that because many years ago.
Wait a minute, Charles. Wait a minute. Now
I'm just giving
you can explain that? Really?
I'm giving you a backstory. Alcorn State signed an agreement with Southeast Louisiana to play each other in every sport. Okay. Because of just like as you mentioned, the geographics, 2.5-hour drive, it makes sense. Mm-hmm. And we did that. We played Southeastern in football. Ernest Jones was the coach, and we played them. And we have played them in various sports. So I agree. Just like Southern, I think, could play in football and probably in other sports because of the short distance. I agree that personally, I think Alcorn and Southeastern will be a nice rivalry in football, FCS. And I think we probably could fill up that stadium with a short drive as well for Alcorn and the fans, a lot of folks from Jackson and so forth. So I agree with you. I think that's something that we started a long time ago, but never really took it to the next step where we were playing in every sport. I think in 1 year in most sports we played them, but then we just kind of veered away from it. So I agree with you. I think that's something that should continue to happen.
On that note, let's take a quick timeout. Coach Kevin Johnson from Southern University, men's basketball, standing by, and Coach Van Pettaway. You're watching the Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network.
Supermarket sushi, really?
No. Wait, Troy, you work here?
I'm never not working. Like Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology, up to 100% dandruff protection, even between washes.
Never not working, huh?
Oh, Troy, you're such a good teacher.
Yeah, I know. Never not working. Never not working. Never, ever not working.
Are you serious?
Never not working. Dandruff protection that's never not working. Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
Hello, everyone. This is Roy Evans with the Black College Sports Network. We are live on the beautiful campus of Alabama State University for BuzzFest 2023 as we get ready to kick off the athletic and academic season for the Hornets. So before we get into what's going to happen today, I want to introduce you guys to a young lady who you're going to be seeing a lot of right here with the Black College Sports Network. This is part of our partnership with K-12 Stride Learning. I'm going to let her introduce herself and where she's from.
Okay. So my name is Kaylin Thomas, and I am from Houston, Texas, but I reside in Fitzpatrick, Alabama. And I'm a senior at Alabama Destinations Career Academy, and I am in the health sciences pathway for nursing and medical field. And I also achieved my first internship with the Black College Sports Network in digital media.
There it is. We're going to be training, like we said, our goal is to help train the next generation of folks telling our stories and getting it going. So, Kaylin, really quick, before we get you out of here and I get on to this other stuff that we're going to be doing, tell the folks some of the things that you're really excited about doing with your internship.
I'm really excited about creating content of the HBCU colleges and their football teams, and as well as covering the bands of those colleges, since I've had experience in high school playing in the band.
Oh, you was in the marching band?
Yes.
Did you do all that?
Yeah, I was on the percussion team, and I played the snare drum.
Oh, drum line on the building. All right, there it is. Well, Kaylin, thank you. We'll be seeing more from you here a little bit later today. Going to get some interviews with some folks and also talk to a couple of the people around and just see what's going on and some of the B-roll that you picked up, okay?
Okay.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, stay tuned. We're going to have it going on. Make sure you tune in. Carlos Brown will be live from 11 to 1 o'clock. Immediately following the Carlos Brown Show, we will go live from Hornet Stadium right here in Montgomery, Alabama to have some fun. As you see, my man got his new shirts on. 3, 4 to Gump. getting it in since 1887, doing anything. I think that's how they say it, right? The Gump.
Yeah,
But we
the
going
Gump.
to let it go like that. So stay tuned again. Make sure you tune in. Tell all your friends. Let all your Hornet friends know to tune in. Get ready to check us out and be there. We will, again, be live from 1 p.m. Central Standard Time all the way up till at least 3, doing it live from here, right here at Hornet Stadium, right after the Carlos Brown Show. So join us. We'll see you later. Deuces.
You know, it's interesting. Roy Evans looks good in that T-shirt, Charles, and he's a FAMU graduate. Alabama State, Jaguar Nation will be coming to Montgomery in 2 weeks.
Are you going?
I don't know. I don't think I'll make that one, but we'll see. Never say never. Yeah, we're going to bring everybody in now. Coach Kevin Johnson and Coach Pettaway, the basketball gurus. I love them. I love them. Good morning, Coach Johnson. Good morning. Well, let's say good afternoon, Coach Johnson. And good afternoon, Coach Pettaway. How you guys doing?
Doing fine. I'm doing fine. Go ahead, Coach Johnson.
Good. I'm doing good. Thanks for having me back. I'm looking forward to visiting with y'all.
Well, it's actually afternoon. I'm still in that morning mode, but hey, 24/7 basketball, football, sports. It's always a good thing. Yeah. Coach, since the last time we talked to you, an update with the program at Southern University.
Wow, I tell you, a great summer. You know, one of the things that I think you have to do today is you have to take advantage of summer access. Yeah. The NCAA gives you 8 weeks where you can actually have hands on your guys in the summer. And we used all 8. And, you know, there were some things that, you know, we had to do. Obviously, we wanted a foundation and establish kind of a working culture. And then we wanted to put in kind of a base system. And then we wanted, you know, guys to improve their individual games. And when I take a look back and analyze what we did this summer, I feel like we did that. So I think that's a great segue. Guys are just now coming on campus for the fall, and it'll be time to pick it up again.
Hey, Coach Johnson, what was your biggest surprise, or was there a surprise during the summer workouts? In other words, a young man that you knew he was going to be okay, but then he really turned it up and they surprised you and the staff.
You know what? That's a great question because I was looking forward to, you know, Coach, you've been doing this a long time. You know, somebody surprises you every year, right?
Yeah.
And so we statted everything we did live this summer. And in the 8 weeks, we probably had 15 inter squads. And this is how I did it. So I would put 40 minutes on the clock. We played with the shot clock, and the guys kind of ran our base system against each other. And we statted it. And so in 12 of those times, there was a guy that I was trying to figure out, you know, I was like, man, you didn't play last year.
Yeah.
And he proved to be, you know, one of the better guys this summer. And then on one of those nights, I looked at the stats and I said, this can't be right. And I'm talking about Jerrion Wilkins. You know, at 6'6" with his length, and he's really a guard. You know, he scored 39 points in one of those evenings, and that's with running time.
Wow!
And so I really had to take a deeper look at, you know, man, he's got some stuff to him. So that's been our biggest surprise of the summer.
Well, that's
Great
good.
question.
That's good. So now, Coach, doing the workouts, one of the things that you dread is getting somebody hurt. Did you all come out of the summer healthy?
You know, we had a few bumps and bruises. I'd say fairly well, Tajon Demasi only participated about half the summer. He ended up developing a sports hernia. We had to get that repaired, and so he's still going to be out for about 3 or 4 more weeks. But other than that, I think we came out fairly healthy.
Right. Did you see the camaraderie that you were looking for with not only with your team but with your staff? Did all of that come together to your expectations?
You know, it's not like I want it yet, but the foundation is there, the base is there. I love my staff. I've got 2 young guys and then 2 veterans, and Jethro Hillman and Rennie Bailey, and I see the connection coming. Of course, it's not going to be perfect now, but that's something that I wanted when I kind of put that together. And I see the connection with our guys. Now, we didn't have everybody here this summer. We had 11. And it's going to be a little different because this fall we're going to have 16 guys on the floor. So you almost have to do that all over again.
Right. Especially if you're counting on them. If these are people that you counting on the first year, yeah, it's like starting all over again. But you should have enough veteran leadership that'll make it a little bit easier.
And that's something we're looking for. There's been a couple of guys who have emerged over the summer that have the potential to be leaders, but that's going to be extremely important.
Man, well, I'm looking forward to the season. And on September the 16th, do you think you'll be working out?
September the 16th. So the 9th is a Saturday. That's the weekend. I think we play Jackson State in football. And so this is how I'm trying to structure it. I don't have the fall schedule complete for preseason because I'm still waiting on some academic class schedules from these guys. But I can tell you most Saturday mornings we'll be doing something. And that's the Coach Kruger in me, because Coach Kruger used to say back in the day, hey, look, there is no place better to be on a Saturday morning for a young man than in the gym. And so most Saturday mornings we'll be doing something. But I'm pretty sure on that Saturday. You coming down?
Well, on the 21st, when Alabama A&M plays Southern, I will be in the house and I'll stick my head in. So I'm giving you
you welcome. You welcome. Come on in.
I'm gonna be on his coattail or his shirt tail when it comes. I'm glad he released that information now.
Sure.
It's official. It's official. My wife is giving me the okay. So I'll be there.
Look, Coach Pat, I know you still have a few. Bring your whistle.
Okay, guys.
We're visiting with Coach Kevin Johnson, the men's basketball coach at Southern University. So, Coach, it seems like, I guess from the summer workouts, is the program where you thought it would be, a little ahead of schedule, or where you thought it would be?
I like what we've accomplished. Coaches, it's never enough. And that's kind of my attitude. The assistant coaches, they felt like we had a great summer, and I got back and I started looking at some of those scrimmages in the evening, and I'm like, that's not what I want. So it's never enough. From the coach's standpoint,
you're always seeking perfection or excellence.
Absolutely, we hadn't done anything yet. So
and speaking of that, roster additions. Any new ones going forward?
Yes, we signed a young man 2 weeks ago, and my philosophy is that your roster is always under construction, and we added a young man who I'm really excited about because we only found out within the last month he was actually a qualifier. Jordan Johnson out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, was a freshman last year at Northeast Oklahoma. And he can space the floor. And that was a concern I had as we were going through the summer because, with today's game, you've got to be able to shoot the long ball. But he can do that, average about 13 points a game as a freshman. And so he's a young man, will have 3 years. And I like his size, about 6'4", 200 pounds, and physical and strong, but can space that floor. So I'm excited to see with his addition, how things look this fall.
Right. Hey, Coach Johnson, were you able to take advantage of the recruiting time frames in the summer? Were you and your staff able to get out and see the kids you wanted?
We did, but we didn't really look at future recruiting. We wanted to see what was available now. And like I said, this is one of the young men that popped up. And look, we still have a scholarship, so there may be another guy that surfaces here before long.
That's good. Well, you're right. Your roster is never really complete. It's always
Right.
under construction because anything can happen at the last minute. You know, you still got guys that are looking at the big lights, and the lights might get dim on them. And so, you know, having
That's
that
exactly right.
scholarship, having that scholarship will really help.
Right, right. That's a great point.
So it seems like Carlos might be having a little difficulty there. Hey, Charles, you had a question for Coach?
Yeah, I do, Coach. Coach, welcome to Southern University.
Thank you, Charles.
I do the games for Alcorn, so I'm looking forward to seeing your team. You know, with the way the schedule is, Southern comes to Alcorn this year. We only play each other once, and so you know we came to you guys last year. Grambling and Southern come to us this year. Talk about your style. You know, talk about the style of your game, up tempo, run and gun. What can we expect?
You know, I try to, about every 3 or 4 years, there's always trend shifts in basketball. And, to stay relevant with these youngsters today, you have to incorporate some of the things that they watch on television because, they all watch the NBA. And so I guess the common theme today, and even watching the international stuff, is to kind of play 5 out. And get that ball moving and share that ball and be able to attack that basket. And that's what we've worked on this summer. And that's what I'd like to be able to do. And, on the defensive side, I was taught to play this game man to man. And, and that's what I like. That's what I'm comfortable with. But, the last 4 years, I've been around a guy who is 100% zone. So there's a place for that in this game also. I would, say a combination, but man, I want to see that ball move. If you're watching us play and that ball's not moving, it's sticking, then that's probably not a good thing.
Yeah, up tempo. Yeah, I like that. Just talk about your acclimation and coming to Southern University and just hitting the ground running because, in terms of the cycle when you were hired, Carlos and I have talked about that, just coming in when you did and hitting the ground. Was it hitting the ground sprinting or hitting the ground running?
That's all I know. I'm one of these guys, when I wake up, my feet hit the floor, I'm on 10. And so, it's been exciting. And that's kind of how I approach it because, I want a team that plays that way. Everything we do, we're going to do it full speed.
And Coach Johnson, I also want to send out some kudos too. I understand that your team had like a 3.6 grade point average during the summer. You and your staff should be commended for that because, from an old ball coach, I know how difficult it is with these athletes. And for you and your staff to be able to stay on top of them. And then they go in there during the summertime, which is one of the worst times of the year for a kid to have to be focused. And then for you all to have that GPA, you all ought to be commended, man. That's outstanding.
Yeah. Well, look, I appreciate you saying that. It's always been my philosophy. And I tell these guys, I said, look, all of these things go hand in hand. Right. You can't say you're a championship team if you're not winning in the classroom, if you're not winning in the community. So those things all go together. And that's something that we're going to emphasize every day in this program.
Right. And that comes along with the game of life. You prepare for life. And you're off to a great start, man. So, Coach, I just want to encourage you and your staff to keep up the good work, man, because we're more than just coaches. It's our job to prepare them for their next stage, which is after college.
Hey, look, life comes at you hard. It comes at you fast. It's not forgiving, and we want these guys to be able to be equipped not just to survive, but I want them to be successful.
Right.
Yeah. Wow, I'm monitoring the words in the chat room. Michael said, Coach, use that last scholarship on a 6'9" or taller player. You're loaded with guards, but you know what? You're a guard yourself. So I think on this level, at least in college, and tell me if I'm wrong, you got to have great guard play. That's important.
Yeah. It's nice to have
Coach,
a team that
let me help
looks
you out
good.
real quick, Coach.
Go ahead, Coach.
You can't say what needs to be said. All coaches are looking for big players. Every basketball coach out there is looking for a big player, but it has to be the right fit. Number one, it has to be the right fit, and number two, you don't put bigs on your team unless they can really contribute and help your team, because you be doing that kid a disservice having him on the team. He's the biggest man or the tallest guy on your team, and then he's not able to participate because perhaps the skill level is not where it needs to be. So from a coaching standpoint, and coach, you don't have to say it, we always want the big players. We're looking for them, but it has to be the right fit. So when you don't have the right fit, you do what best for you and the group that you have. And I got plenty of faith that Coach Kevin Johnson is doing that right now. That's why he's holding on to that scholarship. And if he finds one that fits Southern's culture, trust me, he will be in there. And so I'm sorry, Coach.
Coach, I appreciate you saying that. Look, that's very well put, but I'm going to add to it, Coach. I'm not looking for a team that looks good in the airport, that looks good getting off the bus. To me, this is about production. So if there's a guy out there that I know he can get something done that can help promote winning, then he's gonna have a chance, whether he's 6'2" or 6'10". So that's kind of how we're gonna roll.
Hey, I love it. It was someone asked that in the chat room. I'm glad it wasn't me. I've been wrong. But those guard play again. It's you gotta have it, and you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
A team fit. With that being said, the schedule for 2023 and 2024. I think last time we talked to you, it kind of got your idea of kind of those non-conference games that you like to play. But we'll ask again. That non-conference schedule or the schedule for 2023, 2024.
Well, I tell you, looking at it, schedule is complete now. There's some things I like about it, and there's some things I think we gonna have to try to bring into balance. It looks like the entire month of November we're on the road. That's going to be a tremendous challenge. And, we're probably no different than the rest of the schools in the league. We got to make some money during that time. But that's one of those things really I want to try to bring into balance. I was listening to you guys earlier talk about the in-state rivalries. And I think that's important in basketball. We need to have some people that we can play in November, December, and really competitive games, and have a chance to really build a winning non-conference record.
Right.
And if you look at it, that's what the high majors do. They bring in all those teams, and by the time they get to conference, they're 13-1, and so it helps them. They're used to winning, and so it makes it more difficult when your schedule is out of balance, like ours is. But we're going to have to fight through that part of it. And December, we're able to have 4 games at home, and then it'll be time to get in the league play in January. So it is what it is, but ultimately in the future, I'd like to see a little bit more balance in the non-conference.
Oh, I love it, Coach Johnson, because we've had so many conversations about the word you use, balance. Charles Edmond, me and you always get into this about, and let me preface this by saying this. Coach Johnson, this schedule was probably already made before he,
most of it, correct,
took over the assignment. And I just said, you got to have balance. It does me, as the fan part of me, to come in and see a team that's been on the road for a month, and I know they've got to get the guarantees and bring so much in there, but I just think that's just so unfair. But I understand it's the way of the world, but I don't like it. I don't like it, Charles Edmond. And don't you tell me I have to like it. I don't like it. I don't like it.
No, I completely agree with you. We're the same way, Carlos.
Right.
We're on the road in November, December. Right. We may have one home game this year. Coach Bussey told me we might have one non-conference home game. But I get it. But Coach Johnson at Tulane, you kind of had your teams. I know Alcorn played at Tulane a couple of years ago. 2 days later, we played at Houston. I remember that well. So you understand about balanced schedules, because I think Tulane had that as well. So you kind of understand what that's about.
Right. I had a chance to be on the other side of it. At Tulane, we would buy, and our number was 6, between 6 and 7. So, those were people that we would bring in, and, and shoot, we bought Southern one year and they came in there and beat us. So, sometimes that happens also. But yeah, I've been on both sides of it. But in the future, I'd like to see a little bit more balance.
Right.
Great.
And then Carlos, on your piece about regional play, see, when I was the athletic director at Alabama A&M, my biggest concern was with our regional schools. Like we had Jacksonville State, we got North Alabama here within 2 hour drive, right?
Right.
We still hold the attendance records at their places. In other words, when we go to them, we sell out their stadiums, but their people don't travel. They didn't come to Huntsville. So from a financial standpoint, I had a problem with that. And I told them if they want to continue playing, they need to do a better job of promoting their away games if they wanted to stay on our football schedules, if they wanted to stay on our basketball schedule. Because in both football and basketball, it was the same way. They would have their largest attendance of the year when we come in. And then when they return a game to us, you can hear crickets.
Wow.
And see, so that's not a good financial piece. But what coach is talking about, playing regional, it helps you in recruiting.
Sure does.
Because you play the people close to you. So that piece of it, I got and I understand. The financial piece for that bottom line, for that athletic director, that's what they have to look at.
That's right.
Well, I'll say this, and this may be a bit controversial. I understand your point, but particularly in football and basketball too, I hope they don't bring but 5 fans in there because you know why? We're packing our stands because we have a good product on the court. We got a good coach, good staff, good players, and the atmosphere is great. And we have a good record, at least, coming into those conference games. But I understand your point. Right. I understand Charles' point.
Right.
And I understand Coach Johnson's point. With that being said, Coach Johnson, recruiting needs for the upcoming year.
You know, again, with recruiting, it's simple for me, guys. You always need everything. So we're always recruiting guards. We're always recruiting shooters. We're always recruiting bigs. And it just never stops. And, I just don't think you could ever be satisfied with recruiting. It just never stops.
And another thing, Charles and Coach Johnson, Coach Pettaway, can you clear up? We've always had discussions when we say local. A lot of the fans, they like the local kids. But to me, local means the whole state of Louisiana, not just exclusively Baton Rouge. Your strategy, Coach Johnson, for that, you agree?
I'm a Louisiana guy, and everywhere I've been, I've always been able to capitalize off the Louisiana market. And I'm a South Louisiana guy. And so one of the things I did was I hit the ground running with that as well. We brought Brandon Davis, who's from down the road in La Place, Derek Tizineau from Melville, Louisiana, and then Scooter Joseph and Brente Noel right here from Baton Rouge. So that was really important. Inside out is really my philosophy in terms of recruiting. So we've made some inroads there.
Coach, what is your philosophy on the transfer portal? We keep in every sport, we keep talking about it and, building a program from, the Fab Five, they were freshmen and they grew up together and all that. Are those days done? Do you believe in the transfer portal? Are you heavy in it? Or do you believe in getting a bunch of freshmen and just kind of growing and develop them and you hope they stick and stay and you build the program that way?
I don't think you can build a winning program with freshmen today. I think it's virtually impossible. If you look at even the blue bloods, you look at the Dukes and Kentuckys, the Kentucky. Kentucky struggled last year, and I just think it's so hard to build a program with young guys. And I think you're going to find more of them going to the portal. Let's just face it, guys. As long as the rule is what it is, everybody's going to be in the portal. And, we took 2 guys out of the portal. So that's just kind of what the landscape is today. But I still think even with that, you have to have some balance and you have to be bringing in some new blood and you need some youth. And so we brought 2 freshmen in last year. But I think the days of signing 5 or 6 freshmen, those are gone with the current portal.
Right. And Coach Johnson, you're absolutely correct because when you look at your national champion this year, they had a veteran team. And so that experience means something. And I think you brought out a great example with Kentucky. He's bringing in all those McDonald's All-American,
right?
And they still can't get it done.
Can't get it done
because you got to have that experience. So you're absolutely correct, Coach.
Right.
And I look forward to seeing you when I come down there.
Coach, we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna talk. We're gonna eat, and like I said, you got to bring that whistle.
Okay.
I just want to be in the room, just for a few minutes. I'll be happy. I'll be content. One quick question, because we got a break. Ask Coach Johnson's philosophy on strength and conditioning with limited resources such as SWAC institutions.
Well, we're not going to use resources as an excuse, by any means. Larry Miemo has been here several years now, and we're working very close. I just think that you have to have a team when you talk about strength conditioning, and that goes along with our training staff. So we're very involved. Our guys are in the weight room 3 to 4 times a week. It was 3 this summer. It's going to be 3 or 4 this fall. And the conditioning, I hadn't seen a championship team that wasn't in shape. So we're going to do that as well. But I like what we did this summer, and we'll build on that this fall.
Well, on that note, Coach Johnson, we appreciate the time. I like how everybody in the chat room is engaged, and you're a straightforward guy. I love it. And we'll invite you back, and we'll get another update and enjoy the rest of your weekend at Fan Fest.
Fan Fest is going on right now. I can't wait to get out there, man. Look, I'll join you guys anytime, man. And look, when you're in town, you're welcome to stop by.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Take care, man.
All right. Have a good one. Yeah.
All righty. Thanks to Coach Kevin Johnson stopping by for a minute. Coach Pettaway, we're going to see you next week. I disappeared there for a second. I don't know if a Jackson State alum got a hold of my Wi-Fi there. But
we figured that out. We figured that out, and we kept the ball rolling for you.
Yes, you did. Great job, and we appreciate it. Coach Pettaway, we'll see you next week. Pat Ryder, leave me alone.
James Harden calling you, Carlos.
Yep. All right.
No, not hard.
All right.
We'll see you next week, Coach Pettaway.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
All righty. We'll take a break. Kevin Batiste is scheduled to join us next. You're watching the Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network. We shall return.
Itchy, squirmy, scratchy, family not getting clean? Get Charmin Ultra Strong. Go get 'em. It just cleans better. With a diamond weave texture, your family can use less while still getting clean.
Goodbye, itchy squirm. Hello, cream bottom.
We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
At Hampton Law, our primary goal is to provide non-traditional yet effective solutions and redefine the approach to client legal concerns. As your trusted legal advisor, we believe in sophisticated, personalized services that eliminate the confusion and complexity sometimes associated with legal matters. Our high standard for client care and concern, coupled with our extensive legal knowledge and skills, make Hampton Law a resource focused on the protection of the client's interest and overall goals. We value our clients and truly enjoy working with them. Visit thamptonlaw.com to conveniently schedule an appointment online. Tamika Hampton Esquire, 1631 Rock Springs Road, Suite 336, Apopka, Florida, 407-494-1471. thamptonlaw.com.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him.
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
Stride K-12 powered schools are ready to put over 20 years of being a leader in online education to work for you. Dive into curriculum design for the online classroom. Team up with state-certified teachers trained in virtual instruction. Take control of your child's education journey. Discover the power of personalized learning with a leader experienced in preparing kids for a future they can be excited about. Take charge. Stride K-12. Enroll now for the fall.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Coles Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network. Last guest of today's show, Kevin Batiste, WAFB TV Channel 9. He's host of the Southern Football Special that's going to be broadcast at 6:30 p.m. on WAFB TV. All of their platforms, Fighting for First. Kevin.
That's correct.
Appreciate you. Welcome to the Coles Brown Show.
No problem, fellas. Good to be with y'all. I was gonna have a much better background, but right now I'm sitting in my car because the scrimmage, the scrimmage wrapped up about 20 minutes ago, and then they feeding the players outside the stadium, and of course they offered us some. So I was about to take a nap for a little.
I understand, Kevin. We're going to talk with Kevin, WAFB TV Channel 9. We're going to get him back. He's on campus, Southern University. The scrimmage has just, ended. We're going to talk to Kevin about the scrimmage, kind of highlights, and also the special that's coming up, Fighting for First. And we do have just a little bit of a clip of that special, and it's already out on YouTube. But Melody, we'll get Kevin back, and also we can play a little bit of a little segment, a little bit of that special that's coming up. It's a tradition. The football special for Southern University. That's another sign that football is here, Charles.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of anticipation for this upcoming season. And, so good that Southern had their fan fest early trying to beat the heat, because we got triple-digit temperatures, 100, 203 high temperatures. So, and this it's going to be a little different now, Carlos, at least for us. Classes start on Tuesday. I'm sure next week classes will be starting, or if not, right after that. So the camp
Monday.
So a Southern classes start Monday.
Yeah.
So for us, classes start Tuesday. So camp's over after this scrimmage. And so now you're going to see a whole different dynamic. You kind of see what's what a little bit as you kind of get ready for game week coming up. So camp's been hard. It's been hot. It's been heated. But now things slow down just a little bit. Now you go over more situational stuff as you get ready for your first games.
Yeah, and for Southern, they'll go back. They'll go to 3 p.m. Once school starts, which is Monday, and their practices now they move theirs to 7 p.m. A lot of conversations, but a lot of the teams, they had to make adjustments because of the heat, and we've talked about the last couple of weeks, and particularly this upcoming week, Thursday, forecast high 105 in Baton Rouge, and a heat index of pretty much short of 120. And once again, that's dangerous. And from a health standpoint, you've got to be proactive with that. It's not about being, I'm tough. I'm the tough guy. We used to do 3 a days. I understand that. But it wasn't as hot. It wasn't as hot back then as it is now. So we're not going to go into a long, drawn-out conversation about global warming. We've made our feelings known about that.
Yeah, it's for Alcorn, they do their practice in the mornings during the season. It used to be 3 o'clock, but the last few years, Coach McNair felt like it's a better result getting it out of the way. So they start at 7:30 in the morning and go that way. So And hey, and way the weather is right now, I think that's a smart way to go. I don't think the night practices are quite the best option for our program, but 7:30 in the morning for Alcorn is right now what coach has done the last few years.
Well, I can see Kevin is back, and I'll tell you, he looks like he's worked up a good sweat there in the heat and humidity. Kevin, welcome back.
Yes, sorry about that, guys. The heat and
No
humidity did my iPhone dirty. It got hot and just shut off out of nowhere. I was saying, yeah, I got done with the scrimmage, went to get some of that good food from the quarterback club, and now I'm here, ready to talk about whatever.
All right. Well, first and foremost, fighting for first, the special you're hosting, Matt. Talk a bit about that, behind the scenes and what it takes to put on such a broadcast.
Yeah, man. So at WFB, we do this, every year, just a preseason special, just previewing the team, what they got coming up, and try to dig deep, find some stories. Usually the biggest challenge with every special is before we even get to interviews, editing, whatever. The biggest challenge is always finding a title, because you got to be creative. You got to find out what's the theme for the season. And we decided to go with fighting for first. The reason being is because, every year, Southern has these big expectations.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be predicted to finish at the top of the SWAC West. And in the last few years, they have finished at the top of the SWAC West, but they haven't gotten the job all the way done. So going into this season, we're trying to figure out what's it going to take to finally get that SWAC championship and finish at the top for the first time in 10 years.
Well, you're absolutely right about that. Expectations are always high. And a couple of highlights of the special. Again, it's coming on at 6:30 p.m. across all WAFB TV Channel 9 platforms. Some highlights, something that maybe we're going to be surprised about with the special.
Oh, yeah, most definitely it's going to be right off the bat. As soon as it starts, this year, anytime the team breaks down the huddle, they say G to G. And, G to G, that's the acronym. I'm not going to, say what that means. I mean, by now.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's G to G, but, the full context of it, that's their saying for the season. And G to G, it means something that goes way beyond the field. Yeah, as a hint, it goes to deal with something personally with defensive coordinator Henry Miller. So kind of his story, what he went through in the past months, they're using that as motivation, and they're making that the saying for the season. Other than that, we're doing a feature on the punter, Robins Beauplan.
Mm-hmm.
This thing is, kind of him telling his story, coming from Haiti all the way to Baton Rouge, and he's gonna, share kind of his background, how he ended up here. And of course, it's the 50th anniversary of the Bayou Classic coming up in November, and we have a bunch of archives, a bunch of tapes in our studio, so we're just gonna take a look back at that. And Dooley and Coach Miller, they kind of showed their greatest memories, what they remember the most, and what makes that rivalry so special. And it's gonna be a fun time. We got even Harold Blood. Blood brought his entire offensive line to the interview. That's all I'm gonna say.
And Kevin, that's the piece that I wanted to show. I saw it on social media. So our producer back in studio, Melody, whenever you can, put that up, because it is unique. That says a lot about this young man who knows who butters his bread, bringing the offensive line with him, the guy that's going to be charged with keeping him upright and protected. So that is unique in itself. And Kevin, also a little birdie told me, and I think his name is Mo Carter, I'm gonna just tell it. Said James Verrett makes an appearance on this special. Is that correct?
There might be. Yeah, it's true. It's true. I hit him up. I was like, because James is basically going to give us like a little whip around the SWAC, see what some other teams are working with. And for the longest, I was trying to figure out, dang, bro, who would be a good SWAC voice, a good SWAC analyst to have this? And I'm like, oh wait, hold up, the station used to have one. I hit him up. I was like, James, bro, how you feel contributing to your 5011 WAFB Southern special? And he was down for it, man, real good.
Yeah, Kevin, next time I see you, I have to tell you a story I can't share on this broadcast about one time James Verrett wanted to have me have a part in the special. When I tell you, your facial expression will tell me all you need to know about that. So we'll move away from that. The scrimmage itself.
Mm-hmm.
Any highlights? Who did well? Anybody surprising? Just the overall assessment of the scrimmage.
Well, if I had to start with the main highlight, obviously it's the heat. I mean, you're getting out here at 9 o'clock in the morning, and they basically dang near played the full game. I mean, they went 3 quarters, went half of a fourth quarter. All the quarterbacks that besides Marotra and Brown, I mean, they all got some work. I guess the first thing that jumps out, I mean, obviously the quarterback. I mean, Blood looking like he have way more command of the offense. Usually when I come to these practice, the main voice as far as pushing the tempo is Dooley. But you can hear Blood out there giving the commands. Hey guys, let's go, push the tempo. Things that you want to see out your leader. And so that looked good. But the main thing that stuck out to me today, these running backs, Kendrick Grimes, Gary Quarles, Kobe Dillon, they're gonna be something, man. They all had a big highlight today. All showed their stuff. All ran hard. That running back room will be something serious.
Well, we got some Alcornites watching, and they have stated that they believe they have the best running back room. I beg to differ, but that's just my opinion. Maybe I can't be objective, but it's good to have that good competition. Defensively, how did they look? Flying around to the ball?
Oh, my God, the intensity was there. First drive of the game, Jordan Carter laid a big hit on one of his teammates. So, yeah, the intensity was there. They was hitting, flying around, got some sacks. They had one bust against the second team. Noah Bowden got him down the scene for a long game. And then a few plays later, he got away with some improvisation. They thought they had the running back. It was an RPO, thought they had the running back, but like I said, Bowden got out of it and was able to connect for a touchdown. But other than that, no, defense looked good. Had some goal line stands. Yeah, they should pick up where they left off.
Charles?
Yeah, man, it's the excitement for Southern University. I mean, you've been covering them. You've got the special. Just talk about the momentum right now. I mean, winning the West and Coach Dooley's second go round with this second year. Just talk about just the team overall, man, and just the excitement getting ready for the season in a couple of weeks.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, the vibes are immaculate, man. I mean, today they tried to simulate a real game day atmosphere as much as possible. I mean, we didn't have, the band and, not the usual fans, but I mean, they really got after it. I mean, the camaraderie is there. You know what the expectation is at Southern University. I mean, like I said, with this team, it all comes down to the quarterback. It all comes down to the quarterback. Can Blood be that guy? And outside of that, can they be disciplined and be mentally tough? I feel like that's the thing that killed them a lot. Like, especially, in the early stages of the first Jackson State game, the FAMU game, if they can just, lock in and be fundamentally sound, I think, sky's the limit for this team.
Can we safely say then? I mean, we've talked about Blood for the last several weeks. Early on, it was kind of up in the air. So can we safely say this is Blood's team right now?
You can safely say this is Blood's team. You can safely say he's taking all the first team reps. I mean, this is the most I've talked to a quarterback in the offseason, since I've been the main guy covering the team. And like I say, it's without question he is the guy. Yeah.
Kelvin, I'm actually interested. I kind of got the impression, the feeling that he was going to hold on to it. We interviewed him on this show a couple of weeks ago. I'm interested also in the battle for number 2. So from the quarterback standpoint, is it safe to say Bowden has locked in the number 2, or is that still a competition going into almost game week?
No, actually, we talked to Dooley today after the scrimmage, and he said, it's the way things are progressing right now. Bowden is the safe number 2, and that's what it played out at the scrimmage today. I mean, Bowden took just about all the number 2 reps in the first half. I mean, it was just him and Blood,
Blood did the first team, Bowden did the second team. Morocha was inactive, and then ZT said he got reps towards the fourth quarter. So yeah, I mean, if Bowden's not number 2, I'll be shocked.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. In the scrimmage, special team works. You talked about Bo playing that's going to be on the special, but also kickoffs, field goal attempts. Did they concentrate a little bit on special teams?
Oh yeah, they got their work special teams. As far as the returners, it looks like one of the punt returners is Chandler Whitfield. Kick returners, I mean, we don't know who's the starter, but that could be a mix of Jalen Howard, Rhymes, Coral, still yet to be seen. One of the funniest moments on special teams from the scrimmage was Jalen Howard fielded a kickoff return, and they wasn't doing it live. I mean, they pretty much ended it after he caught it and ran for a little bit. but no, one of the funniest moments, Jalen Howard, he caught a kickoff return. He ran about 5 yards. They killed it. Everybody else going to the sideline, waiting for the next play, and Jalen Howard was just steady running, full speed to the end zone.
There you go.
as if it's the real thing, as if he scored. We interviewed him afterwards. I'm like, Jalen, all things ahead on that one kickoff return, right? He's like, man, I'm just trying to score every time I touch the ball. So
yeah,
hearing that from a guy who's trying to compete for a spot, that's what you want to hear.
Yeah, well, you can't hate on him for that. Hey, with that being said, no major injuries from the scrimmage?
Oh, no. I mean, nothing big time. I mean, there was some guys who was kind of, down for a little bit. I couldn't get a good read of who they were because I was a little far from the distance. But no, they all got up, walked off the field under their own power. Like I said, nothing good. This team looks, relatively healthy.
Last thing, and we appreciate your time, Kevin.
No problem.
One game you're looking forward to, and, well, let me back up. Channel 9 and the coverage, you're going to be at home mostly this year, not on the road as much, but talk about the coverage coming up for the Southern football team, and then I'll come back with one game you are personally looking forward to.
Oh, yeah. One thing about Channel 9, we're going to be at every Southern game. Yeah, we don't miss out on nothing. Tuesdays, Dooley, you have his press conference. We have you covered there. Friday, we have a game preview, and then Saturday, it's that time. Whether it's home, away, Baton Rouge, Jackson, Siberia, we got you covered. Highlights, post-game recaps from the first game to the last game.
Well, good deal. And other guy that asked you the question and that you see on the screen, make sure you get him on camera, because he's the voice of Alcorn State Athletics. So a big game on the reservation, Southern and Alcorn.
Get here early. Get here early.
Hey, trust me. Hey, I've been to Lorman twice, and trust me,
okay.
I have dealt with getting in the stadium.
Okay.
Plenty of times. But Carlos, back to your question, man. As far as one game, it's probably that one. Probably Alcorn. I mean, they got the Alcorn monkey off their back 2 years ago, ending that streak. Now it's, can you do it on the road? Can you do it? Can you do it in a hostile environment, in a place where you possibly, well, not go for the SWAC championship because they're in the same division, but a place where the SWAC West, a lot's going to be on the line whenever these two teams play, per usual.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah. So I'll say that's the one, and probably FAMU, because since FAMU is into the SWAC, I mean they've gotten the best of Southern, and being the fact that those two teams are the predictions for the SWAC championship, let's see how Southern kind of handles these expectations in case there is a possible rematch.
You're absolutely right. I have to agree with that, Charles. You know how I felt going to the reservation and being disappointed. Runner-ups 2 years in a row. I did remember when Lenore Tillery had an awesome day, and the only victor under the former Coach Odoms. I got a chance to see that. And then you got the Jackson State game, which you don't have to say anymore. It could be tiddlywinks, checkers. It's gonna be popping. Kevin, closing comments, and we appreciate the time here on the Carlos Brown Show.
Hey, thank y'all, man. Thank y'all. First off, man, thank y'all for allowing me on the show. Anytime I get to talk about anything I cover, especially Jag football with the folks, I mean, it's always a pleasure. But nah, man, I'm just looking forward to another season, man. Like I said, I mean, there's nothing like college football in South Louisiana. I mean, nothing like Southern football in the SWAC. Fans are loyal. Everybody cares. Game day atmosphere is great. And like I said, I'm just looking to see, can this team finally get over that hump? Can they get over the hump, win the SWAC championship, and get to Atlanta and win it?
If I can get to Atlanta and Southern's there in the Celebration Bowl, Charles, I'm going to have an entourage around me because I'm going to get into some wicked trouble. I'm going to tell you. Charles, closing comments.
Hey, football season is here, guys. Let's have some fun.
Yes, sir. Yes,
and SWAC MEAC Challenge next week. Jackson State, South Carolina State. I got Jackson State winning it, albeit it's going to be tough. Coach Buddy Pugh in South Carolina State. You know you're going to be into a physical ball game. You're talking about physical. That's South Carolina State. Kevin, a prediction on that one?
I haven't done much research, but I guess I'll say Jackson State. I guess. I mean, the TC Taylor era got to start off right, I guess. So,
if not, you're talking about a fan base like Southern. That's Jackson State. It's always high expectations and a lot of pressure. Kevin, have a great weekend. The special again, 6:30 tonight.
6:30 tonight. WAFB, WAFB.com, and WAFB Plus. And in case you miss it, we'll more than likely have it posted on our website.
I'll have it on, and I'll be watching it with my favorite appetizer. How about that? Have a great weekend, Kevin. Appreciate the time. Want to thank Melody back in studio. Great job as usual. Don't forget, Jericho Broadcasting Network, some big news forthcoming, some news already this past week. Contribute, like, subscribe, do all of those good things with Jericho Broadcasting Network / My Black College Sports Network, and also the Carlos Brown Show. Until next Saturday, there he goes. I can't wait for that game. 1 week at a time. I'm going to get there at 5 in the morning, like I usually do. I slip in. I'm going to have an entourage with me. I want that game. But for Jaguar Nation, 1 week at a time. Win the week. Want to thank Roman Banks, Kevin Batiste, also Coach Van Pettaway, and Coach Kelvin Johnson, and Melody back in studio. Until next Saturday at 11 a.m. for another edition of the Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network. Peace and God bless.